Hi there. So actually I think it's a bit of a misnomer to believe that the hardest thing about eating disorder recovery is the first bit where you decide to do it. Because actually I found that first phase where you say, right, I'm going to the supermarket, I'm going to buy all those foods that I had on my fear food list and I'm just going to start eating. Actually, for a lot of people, that first phase is okay. Those first few days are kind of quite, oh, this is nice, isn't it? I'm eating all these things that scared me silly and look at me, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. It's not so much that. And actually the times when we at Wednesday Child get more of the calls and more of the emails is a week or two in where people are trying to keep that momentum up. An awful lot of people start and then stop. I guess that's probably true of a lot of addictions and behaviours. You know, people will say they're going to give up smoking and they can manage to do it for a couple of days, and then the first chance they get to be around the social group that are also still smoking, then it's really hard to keep up with it. And I think with eating disorder recovery, we can do that initial excitement of, oh my goodness, I'm allowing myself to eat all these things that I haven't eaten for years and years and years. And I've had my first hamburger after 5 years of eating disorder behaviour, or I've had my first Twix after 10 years of never having a Twix. Whatever that might be, doing it initially feels okay. It's the keeping the momentum up that's the really, really important bit. And I guess the truth is that is the harder bit, because for the first couple of days you might not notice the bloatedness or the water retention or whatever it might be that starts to make you feel maybe a bit sluggish. But this is a reminder to say you can't be half in, half out about recovery. You can't choose how difficult it feels. You just have to do it. And all the time you stop and start, it becomes ever harder to do it. Or, you have to embrace it full in. Otherwise you'll keep having to get back on the starting block. And every time you do, there's a little bit more of a sense of fatigue and struggle with it. You have to go all in with really embracing it. And when I say all in, I don't mean you have to kind of say you're going to just, go from kind of eating very little to eating huge amounts in one big go. You don't have to do it that way. You can nudge up your intake, but you really have to embrace that recovery and not step right back to ground zero again. Yeah, it feels really tough. And I look back on it and think, yeah, at kind of week one, I really wanted to give up. And month one, sure as heck I did, when my body shape was changing and clothes weren't starting to fit. Yes, things were really difficult, but you've got to keep going. It doesn't get any easier by stopping and starting. You've really got to keep going. And the best thing about doing that is to say, well, actually surround yourself by somebody that's going to support you in that journey, and whether that's us and our befriending team or your best friend or a member of your family, but just keep telling yourself that it doesn't get any easier if you only go half in and stop midway. You've got to keep going with it. So it's a reminder, I guess, really to say that actually the difficult bit isn't day one. The difficult bit is when you're seeing the changes, but actually keep going. Because if you keep going, that's when the cognitive change will remind you how much you're gaining from recovery. I'd really love to know how you're getting on with that and what you found to be your most difficult phase of the journey. And please just give us a shout, get in touch if we can help you, and if that's the point at which befriending is important to you, that's what our befriending network is there for. So reach out and let us know how you're getting on.